Okay, in this video, we'll be working on learning how to construct or draw angles. My protractor will actually produce the angle for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and teach you as if I didn't have the protractor that did that, okay? Just like you guys would do. Okay, so your first step when you're working with creating an angle is, let's say they wanted us to draw a 35-degree angle, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start with a line. So I'm going to take my straight edge of my protractor, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw right across the bottom of this. Okay, I'm going to draw a straight line right across the bottom. Okay. Now my next step. So I'm going to go ahead and shift this so it's more center on your screen. My next step is to pick one of the ends. It does not matter which end. So I'm going to go ahead and use this end right here. And I am going to put the very middle, this very middle part right here of my protractor on that. And then I'm going to make sure that once I do that, that I also have my black line that's cutting through this line right here, which is either 180 or 0, you can see right behind there. Okay, so I'm going to move my protractor and I'm going to line up my red dot right here on the very middle of my protractor. Now, most of your protractors, it'll be a little clear or an open hole, okay? So I get that lined up. So two things, I'm going to line up the middle on the end, and I'm going to make sure that my black line is cutting through this 0, 0 line right here, which it is. Okay, that's the most important part. If you can't get that down, it's going to be really hard to measure or construct angles. Okay, so now my final step is to go through and find 35 degrees. So you'll notice that on the protractor, that there are two sets of numbers. Now, since my end, I like to put an arrow on it, is pointing to the right, I want to use where my 0 is. So my 0 is right here, which means I'm going to use my outside numbers, and I'm going to find 35. So here's 10, 20, 30, and then there's 35. Okay, take note, you're going to have longer lines on the 10s and then a little bit shorter on the 5s and then smaller ones in between. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of these marks. And I'm going to go ahead and remark my 35. I'm just going to put a little dot out there. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I have to rotate my protractor here. Actually, I don't have to. You guys would have to take your protractor and just connect using your straight edge between that dot and this dot on the end. Now, I'm actually going to use, because it's really difficult for me to be able to do that, but that's what you guys will do. It's easy for you to line it up using yours. So you're going to line it up and you're going to draw your straight line through this. And you'll notice there I have a 35-degree angle. Now, don't worry. I can extend this line further out. I can make it shorter on the other side. It doesn't matter. The length of the line doesn't matter. It's still creating 35 degrees. So if I put this back on there and check it, I would line up in the very middle, make sure it's lined up along the bottom line, and notice my line is still cutting through that spot where I had marked 35 degrees. Okay, so let's try another one. So let's maybe do 120 degrees. 120 degrees. Okay, so my first step is I'm going to do my straight line. Well, since I already have a straight line here, I'm just going to use that one. So I'm going to line up my middle on the very end. This time, you know what? I'll do this end just for the heck of it. I'm going to do this end. It doesn't matter. I just need to make sure that my line is also lined up on that line that goes all the way across the bottom. And you guys will have that same line. And it is. Now I'm going to find 120. Since I'm pointing out this way, I want to use where it's pointing to the 0. So here's my 0, which is my inside numbers. Okay. So I'm going to find on my inside numbers 120, which is right here. So I'm going to mark right out on this mark right here. Erase my extra stuff. And then I would turn my protractor or use another straight edge to line up between this point and that other red dot. Okay, so I'll take a straight edge and connect those. Now, if I line back up again with my protractor, it should show that it's cutting through 120. And it does. Okay, so that's working with constructing a basic angle.